some news that Blockspace broke last weekend. Bitcoin miner Rhodium, private Bitcoin miner, files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. This has been something of, I wouldn't call it a long time coming, but there has been scuttlebutt surfacing in the Bitcoin mining world that Rhodium was having some financial troubles. And we saw the chickens come home to roost, so to speak, last week. If you're going to file for bankruptcy, filing on a weekend is always great because then you won't get as much news coverage, but not if you're Blockspace. We're going to pick it up. But yeah,
we're lurking.
We're lurking. We don't know how many exahashes Rhodium has online. According to the Miner Mag, when Rhodium was trying to go for an IPO, they filed as having 2.7 exahashes as of December 2022. And some of this hash rate is at Riot's Whinstone facility, which is partly wrapped up in this bankruptcy, or at least part of the story, because Rhodium, as you can see in our article on Blockspace, is currently seeking $67 million in damages related to its hosting agreement with Riot. So there's probably a lot of inside baseball that we could say here, but I don't think that Riot or Rhodium would necessarily appreciate some of those things. And we might be speculating on stuff that we don't know very well. But that being said, this Whinstone debacle between Riot and Rhodium has been going on for some time. And it seems as though it's kind of contributed here to the fact that the miner is now insolvent. So something to keep an eye on. We're going to have some follow-up reporting as we have bankruptcy documents come in. Rhodium has assured its investors that it is seeking debtor in possession financing, which it will use to operate throughout the bankruptcy and hopefully emerge from it. So for those who don't know, Chapter 11 is a restructuring bankruptcy. When you file for Chapter 11, it is with the idea that you will be able to restructure your debt and emerge on the other side more or less solvent. We saw this most recently with Core Scientific. They did a Chapter 11 throughout 2023 and came out on the other side. But we also saw it with Compute North, where their entire business basically got segmented and sold off piecemeal. And Compute North, as it existed going into Chapter 11, no longer exists. So it's not a guarantee that they will come out with this with everything intact, but they are going to try their best to do so. And they've assured investors that their operations, both hosting and self-mining, will not be affected by this process. So
yeah, I'll pick it up from there. Great summary. So there's 4 entities that filed for bankruptcy last Saturday. There's like a JV, I think that was the one at the Whinstone, and then a few other sites that had various megawatt capacities that were under separate entities. An email that was leaked to us at Blockspace talked about this, and they said to investors that they're going to try to restructure to build the company back up. This has happened with mining quite a bit. The biggest one, of course, being Core Scientific, but tons of others as well. And some of those have ended up being better for shareholders. Some of them have been just disastrous. One thing I want to bring up is some points from the Miner Mag talking about the debt to equity ratio, which sort of is a very good predictor of what's going to happen with a Bitcoin mining company. If you become too deep in the debt, there's a good chance they're going to wipe out. The Miner Mag, we're looking at this chart from them, has some great information about debt to equity ratio for some of these pubcos. The one that stands out to me is Argo blockchain, which if you go back to the Q1 numbers and the different numbers, you see it's pretty bad, but it's been getting better steadily as they've been paying off some debt. And then the Core Scientific one, where they've had these different tranches of warrants be repriced and then open up to sell debt. So they're moving back into the correct way, and they're looking really strong. So some miners have been able to use the HPC play to get back into the game, and some miners who are really just banking on Bitcoin mining have not really had the opportunity to do that. Their strategy has been compressed with hash price, and they're often looking to be sold or divvied up piecemeal, which